Learn how to create a complete auditing system by combining both get and set method trap in a single proxy. A single proxy handler can hold multiple traps to monitor different object lifecycle events. So together, let's look at an example of how JavaScript proxy and reflect can be used for a full lifecycle logging with the get and set trap method. So here I already in my script tag. So I will go ahead, and the first thing I want to do is that I want to make an object. So this is going to serve as create a target object. So let me call the object name user, and there I can add name to the object. I can also add age inside the object. So now I have my object. So now that I have this object, it's time to now do a trap proxy setup, because proxy act as a security guard that controls what's going in and out of our object. Now let's go ahead and set it up. Draw trap proxy setup. So how do you do this? Well, call a new proxy constructor, and inside it you pass your objects, and then you can set a get method. So the get method will take the target object as well as the property whenever you want to get it. And inside it, let's log what is happening. So reading property plus the property itself. Now that I've done that, I can then go ahead and return our get reflect.get target and property. So since it's a draw trap proxy setup, I also need a set method. What I just did is a get method. Now it is time for the set method. So it will follow the same truth, only that the parameter that set accepts is the difference between the two. Property and value. And I'm going to log it as well, whatever has been written inside it. Writing property plus property plus value, and can come down here and return this as well. Return reflect.set target property and value. So now that we have these two, it's time for us to make our login helper function. So we need this login helper function to be able to log out the output of our set and get method. So I'll make a simple function log. It will take a parameter of message. So this will be what is going to display the output of our code. Dot inner HTML. This is not correct. Get element by ID plus equals prime plus message And then let's add a break. So now my helper log function is ready. And now that I have this, it is now time to trigger the full cycle of my set method and get method. Trigger full cycle. So how do you trigger the full cycle? So I'll first start with name. So since everything goes through proxy as a security guard at the entrance of our object, I'm going to call it and use it to modify name. So now this time around, I'm going to pass another name. I'll call it Alice. So what I just did now is going to trigger our set method in order to set this property into our objects. Then I'll go ahead and do the same thing for each. Let me call this one 50. Now, there's already an error because nothing is displaying on the screen, and you can see time is not defined, which means that I'm already missing something. But I'll come back to that actually. So now let me also set the get method. So how do I set that? Well, let me just make a simple variable. Let me call it text1 proxy.name. This is how you get whatever it is that you have set, and you can do the same thing for the other H property, proxy.h. So if you look at what we have here, you'll see that this is setting it. So property.name, property.name, and this is going to be getting what we have said in our code. So let's look at why this error is coming into being, that time is not defined. So the reason why the time error is coming up here is because of the fact that there's nowhere in our code where we have time defined, and that is supposed to happen inside this logger hyper function. So what I'm trying to use time for is to show us whenever we make a changes. So this will capture the timestamp. It will show us the current time as at when we are doing that. So let me make a simple variable and call it time, and inside it I'll call our new date constructor, and I want it to convert it to a local time string in order to show time. Now you can see. So if you look at this, when I write property was at 3:49:58 seconds, you can see I set it to Alice, I set H to 50. When I'm also reading it, you can see it when I'm reading the property of name and when I'm reading the property of H, as you can see on my screen. So look at how the entire system reacts. We were able to change value and get value. So the screen instantly logged the right action, fired the set method trap, and the proxy catches us reading them too. So it gives us 360-degree supervision over our data structure. So that's one important thing about using proxy and reflect together with a full life cycle logging with get method and set method.